How's it going, trainers? Coming at you with one of my favorite decks from our new expansion so far, featuring Blaine and Lusamine. This 1-2 punch feels incredibly potent. We're an ideal game. You start on Ninetales, who can crack for 90 or 120 points of damage every single turn, starting with your second energy. And then once they take down your lead attacker, Lusamine can grab 2 energies from your discard pile and attach them to our Ultra Beast to allow you to crack for 130 points of damage for this big flourish finisher. This really solves one of the problems the Blaine deck has always had in the past, which is Ninetales is always your best attacker, but once you start attacking with it, you don't have energy to build up an additional threat because it demands your energy every single turn, and Lusamine very cleanly alongside our Ultra Beast lets us solve that problem for us. At any rate, if you enjoy sweet off-meta decks like this one, make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you don't miss any of the things we're going to be testing with this latest expansion. If you like this deck in particular, make sure you smash the button on this video. For the rest of the day, have fun. Alright, first energy advantage is lovely. Toot a Magmar to start. I went back and forth on Magmar versus Duck. I'm kind of expecting some extra Buzzwole, so I went with the Magmar, but that could go either way. Above average opener for sure. This is local man about to be red carded. All right, I mean, I'm waiting on the research because of Mars and red card here. I think I'm going to go ahead and repel here, not only to get the card out of my hand, but also to make it so they can't attack next turn. And buys us a go around. Alright, this is 66% to be our thing. 1 Blaze, 2 Ninetales. So we have to go ahead and Blaine here now and clean this out. And then if they knock us out here and we top deck Lusamine, we get to clear them, yeah? One in 4. There she is, gamers. That's exactly what we want to do with this deck. Start with Ninetales, finish on Blaze. Crunch. Pseudo Pally, thanks for the almost 5 years. Appreciate it. All right, we're leading on Blaze, but we do have 2 copies of Leaf in our deck. Looking for some of our other basics here. That is super not ideal. Definitely don't want to attach our starting energy to this card ever. Competitive pools are 50 meters. Yeah, I don't think it's that long. I think it's 25. Just the worst possible mix of stuff here. Not only did we not have another basic to start here, but I also don't have a copy of Leaf. If I had a Leaf here, we could like put Vulpix up and flip on it. Although I guess that's not very good either, yeah. Alright, so they have a supporter. They clear out Blaze. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if this ends up being the most popular new deck this season. Just because it requires the most minimal new cards and it's doing something new. Sweaty gamers also really like doing the exact same thing every single game, and having only one basic in your deck allows them to do that very cleanly. If we find our other copy of Blaze, we could still win this game. Right on time, Leaf. Welcome to the party. Maybe my opponent won't have their stage 2, Copium. I struggle to have my basic Pokemon. Maybe they'll struggle to have their second evolution. All right, we can still draw Blaze. I need a Blaze. I need a Blaze. Okay, that could be a Blaze. It's guaranteed to be a basic, right? My deck is Blaze, Magmar, and Vulpix right now. Perfect. That is exactly how we drew it up. Is it? I could definitely Lusamine this turn. Oh, I guess if I hit them with the Blaze, I can't. No, this is fine. I'm dumb. There's no reason not to. I always forget I can Lusamine the bench. Lusamine in my head is has to be on the active. But no, yeah, I was thinking we needed to switch it, but we could just do all this on the bench, right? And it's still clean. All right, yeah, they're cooked now. I am a Ninetales believer, chat. We're currently in the process of moving all of our retirement accounts out of Edward Jones so we can stop getting charged 1% per year for them to make the similar amount of money to if I just put the stuff in my own accounts and it ETFs myself. They probably should have jumped this out, right? So I couldn't tail whip it. Well, I suppose maybe it doesn't matter. If we find a Blaze, I don't see how we lose this game with the Lusamine queued up already. The one time we wanted to lead a Magmar, right? One well done Ultra Beast, please. Heldrick, thank you for the 3.5 years. Welcome back. Appreciate it. Please don't tell me we're looking at another month of Giratina Darkrai. The eminently true thing in every card game is when new cards release, all of the best decks from the previous season are still the best decks until proven otherwise. Alright, and there's a place. Why play Magmar instead of other fire basics? There really aren't other fire basics that attack as efficiently as Magmar, and Blaine works with Magmar, letting it hit for 50 or 70 with the grass weakness, which is nice. Alright, so unironically, as someone who's been very anti-Mars and red card from a pure numbers perspective, this card might be the singular most compelling reason to put Mars and red card in your deck in Pokemon Pocket today. This is a very powerful effect that can't be played until into the late game. Like, there's really no option to play it early. I'm like, here, Magmar with the Blaine here lets us crack for 70, which means even if they have a copy of Erica, our Blaze is going to be lethal next turn. So they need Erica plus Potion to not die to the Blaze due to the fire weakness. Crunched. Look at our whatever in the heck this is. It's adorable. Let's get that beat punk going on. Bye, Bug. Bye, Bug. Thank you for the super chat, Big Bobby. That's very generous of you. I'm also old enough not to repeat what you wrote on my live stream, though. Okay, so if we can find a copy of Blaine, we cook this Pikachu up. It's nice and nummy. These are definitely all of the Pokemon I want on my bench. That sounds lovely. This is another really interesting Pokemon to think about. The way Lusamine makes you think about the energy costs on all of these Ultra Beasts is very different, right? Because, like, this attack and this attack, not remotely good enough at face value. However, the context is just that you're not playing them at face value. You're playing them in a metagame where you get to go ahead and jump 2 extra energy onto them with some frequency. And that detail slash difference is a big deal. This is a card where, like, you look at this just in a vacuum on its own, terrible, unplayable. However, given Electrical Cord exists, given Lusamine exists, like, might be reasonable. Could still be bad, but there's more to think about there than just what's going on the surface. You know, I might actually want Tail Whip to be useful at some point. So I think I vibe on this for a turn, because there's worlds where I need to stall with Tail Whip. And now, before anybody suggests I retreat and then Lusamine to clear my opponent out, I would like the record to reflect that, you can't Lusamine until you have your opponent's knocked something out. So it is not an option to attack with Blaze this turn. Alright, cool. And they're just cooked by Lusamine here. It's crazy how often it's just like, yep, there was a Blaze on my bench, and you took a knockout, and now the game has ended because I have Lusamine in hand. Crunch. Pretty sure this is let the lead Vulpix die angle, follow up with Ninetales Blaine. This coin largely doesn't matter. Lusamine's a great pickup. So they go Sill Valley, clear us. We go Ninetales Blaine, clear you. They set up Rampardos. We Lusamine, Blaceon? Blaze? Or do they not have the Revolution? That would be really good for us. If they don't have it, we can Leaf into Flamethrower, assuming they hit Tails. Okay, they've got it. Fine, since we have Blaine. Our anecdote so far this morning is that this opponent's deck is the most popular by a lot. Wonder how this lines up into Buzzwole stuff. Will be one of the questions you need to answer. If they don't have Candy Rampardos, they are super far behind here. That would imply no Rampardos. These decks don't typically play Leaf. I just take the knockout here, yeah, with the Blaze. Well, this forces them to have Cranidos or Candy Rampardos. We do lose to Candy Rampardos here still, but pretty happy with the position of this game, considering that our opponent had really good start with first energy advantage. They don't got it. We get to clean them up despite them having first energy advantage.